Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Rabbi.
Good morning.
We are learning Mishna Nedarim, Parak Ches, Chapter 8, Mishnah Hey, Mishnah 5. Ad HaGeshamim, Ad Shiu HaGeshamim. Person makes a neder, and he's prohibiting something on himself, Ad HaGeshamim, until the rains. Or he says, Ad Shiu HaGeshamim, until the rains are. Okay, that's his neder. Until the rains, or until the rains are. So, how far does that go? So, Ad Shatei Reviya Shniya. That item will be forbidden, that nether will extend until the beginning of the second of the 3 periods of rainfall. Now, that means like this. I'm going to read here from the bottom, comes from the Bartanura. In Eretz Yisrael and surrounding countries, the first rains of autumn, when the rainy season begins, are divided into 3 periods. The early rainfall, the second rainfall, and the late rainfall. In a normal year, when the rain falls on time, the second rainfall arrives on the 23rd of the month of Mar Cheshvan. Thus, the neder lasts until it begins to rain any time from the 23rd of Mar Cheshvan. So that's what it means. That's what the Mishnah means. When you make this neder until the rains are, then that means until the second rain comes down. Okay? That's what Shatei Reviya Shniya. That means until the beginning of the second rainfall, until the second rain comes down. Since the rainy season has no set length, essentially, so we have here a neder that doesn't have a set time, and therefore, even if you say until the rains are, it doesn't include the rainy time. It means up to the time of the rain. Which rain? And the answer Mishna tells us is the second rain. Of the 3 periods of rainfall, we assume that he meant the second one because it is the middle rainfall, neither very early in the season nor very late. And therefore, the assumption is that when he said neder until the rain, or until the rain is, which again means until not including the rain, we understand that to mean until the second rainfall. That's in the middle. And therefore not too early, not too late, and therefore we assume that's what he's referring to. So that's the first opinion. Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says, Ad sheyagia zmana shel revia. The wording of the first opinion is ad shatei reviya shniya, until the second rain comes down. Mm-hmm. And let's say the second rain doesn't come down by the 23rd of Mar Cheshvan. The neder is going to extend until the second rain actually comes down. That's according to the first opinion. But Shimon Gamliel says until the time of the rain comes. You don't need the actual rain to fall to end the neder by that time. You just have to reach the time when it's expected to fall. So here, let me read it. The neder lasts only until the time the second rainfall should arrive, even if the rain has not yet fallen. We assume that he did not have the actual rain in mind, but rather the time when it's expected to fall. Since the rains are delayed in some years, he is unlikely to have meant the rain itself, meaning until it actually rains, because a person does not commit himself to a prohibition of uncertain length. You don't know exactly how long it's going to go for. Instead, he must have meant the date of the second rainfall, which is known. So according to Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, the neder ends on the time expected for the second rainfall, which is the 23rd of Mar Cheshvan, whether it rains or not. Okay? That's the first case. That's the first discussion of the Mishnah. Now we have another case. The person now it's a little bit of a variation. Ad sheyipaskuk shamim. He didn't say until the rain, until the rain is or are, the rains are. He says until the rain stops. Mm-hmm. So clearly he is including a period of time. He is including a time period of rain. He's not limiting it to any specific rain until the rain. It's ad sheyipskuk shamim, until the rains end. That means that the neder will extend until the rains end. So how far does that go for? Ad sheyetze nisan kulai divrei Rabbi Meir. That means until the entire month of Nisan has passed. The entire month of Nisan has passed. According to Rabbi Meir, the winter rains usually end at the end of the month of Nisan, and therefore, when he made this neder, that is what he meant. He meant until the month of Nisan has passed. Rabbi Yehuda says Ad Shavra Pesach. Nope, the neder lasts only until Pesach passes, until the end of Pesach, because according to Rabbi Yehuda, the main rains of winter are said to end at this time. Meaning the main rains end by the end of Pesach. There could be more rains afterwards, but we're following, according to Rabbi Yehuda, we're following the point of time where we say the main rains of winter are over, and that's the end of Pesach. Okay, so when he says until the rains stop, according to Rabbi Meir, it's until the month of Nisan passes. Yehuda says until Pesach passes. Next case. Koinam yayin sheni toyim hashana. A person says, wine is like a konam, is like a carbon to me, that I'm not going to taste it. Hashana. Hashana means this year. Nis abra hashana. And then the year becomes a leap year. It becomes a extended year. Now, in the times of the Mishnah, or the time that the Mishnah is referring to, it's not like you had a set calendar that you knew exactly which year was going to be a leap year and which was not. But rather, the times of the Mishnah, meaning here from the bottom, leap years were not fixed in the calendar. Rather, the Sanhedrin, based on certain considerations, would decide at any time until the month of Nisan to proclaim a leap year. So you could find out, right before Chodesh Nisan, that there's going to be an Adar Sheni. So in the case where the person said this year, and the year turned out to be a Shana Muberes, a leap year as we refer to it, an extra month of Adar is added, how long is he forbidden for? Asar ba ubi ibura. He shall be forbidden for the year plus its extension. Because he said this year. He didn't say a year, he said this year. And if this comes out that this year is extended, it's extended. That was not excluded from his neder when he made the neder. Now, we're in a case where we have a leap year, and the neder that he makes is Ad Reish Adar. My neder extends until the beginning of the month of Adar. And the year was proclaimed a leap year, so that there are now 2 months of Adar. So it's not like in the case, it's interesting, the case that they lay it out is similar to before. He said until the beginning of Adar, and now there's 2 Adars. Now that there's 2 Adars, because they proclaimed it a leap year, okay, how far does it extend? Says the Mishnah, Ad Reish Adar Harishain, until the beginning of the first Adar. When a person refers to Adar without specifying which one, he means the first Adar. That's what this Tana holds. At Seif Adar, if the neder he made until the end of Adar, At Seif Adar Rishon, again, it's going to go to the end of the first Adar. That is the opinion of the Tana Kama, of the first Tana. That's the first opinion here. Okay. Fine. Nobody argues on that. Nobody argues on that. And that's how it goes. Okay. So that means that in the times of the Mishnah, when you said Adar, you typically meant the first Adar. Because if you meant the second, it would have said Adar Sheni. Okay. Now, Rabbi Yehuda Omer. Rabbi Yehuda says, now we are going back to a case, we're going back to a previous case in the Mishnah. The Mishnah returns to a law taught in Mishnahs 2 and 3, that when someone says until the event is, referring to an event of fixed length, he means to include the event itself. Right? If you say, Ad Sheyehei Pesach, right? If a person says, the neder is until Pesach is. So we say that, again, if we're talking about something that has a fixed time, like Pesach, then we say that he means up to and including, It includes that the time of the event itself. So now Rabbi Yehuda is going to qualify that. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, or he's going to say like a case where things may be different about that. Kainam yayin sheni toyim. Again, he says wine should be koda, meaning like a carbon, to me that I'm not going to taste it. He's forbidding wine. Ad sheyehei Pesach. Until Pesach is. Okay, so again, he's forbidding wine until Pesach is. Eina aser ela ad leil HaPesach. he is only usher. His neder only extends until the night of Pesach. In this case, his intention only was until the time where people will be drinking wine. Meaning, when you just say, you're not talking about wine. You're not talking about wine. In the case before, you're forbidding something else until Pesach, until that Atshiyeh Pesach, until Pesach is. So there we say this thing is going to be forbidden to you, even over Pesach. But here you said wine, and you need to drink wine on the night of Pesach. You need to do the Daled Kaisis. And so therefore we know that even though he said the words Ad Sheheya Pesach until Pesach is, we know that his intention was not to include Pesach, because we're talking about wine. And since he knows that he needs to drink wine for the 4 cups, that's the special mitzvah of Daled Kaisis, that's unique to Pesach. So therefore we understand that his intention, even though he said until Pesach is, his intention was only up to and not including Pesach. As the Mishna says, his intention was only until the time where it is, where it's the derech, where people are going to be drinking wine, meaning the time where they'll be fulfilling the mitzvah of the 4 cups of wine. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Rabbi.